The Deathworld Council never met in public. Not once in recorded galactic history. Their meetings were not announced. Their locations were not shared. Their discussions were not written down. This council was made of species that evolved on worlds designed to kill them. Extreme gravity, toxic air, constant storms, endless predators. They survived where others went extinct. And tonight, they met in secret. The chamber was deep inside an artificial moon, hidden beyond normal space lanes. Thick armored walls surrounded a circular table made of compressed stone. Every seat was occupied. Silence filled the room. These were not beings who enjoyed small talk. The chair of the council finally spoke. "We are running out of time." Several council members shifted. That alone was alarming. The chair continued. "The signs are clear. Systems are failing. Trade routes are unstable. Weak civilizations will collapse first." A low growl came from one side of the table. "Let them collapse," a counselor said. "We survived worse." Others nodded. Deathworlders respected strength. Weakness was not their concern. But the chair raised one clawed hand. "This collapse will not stop with them," he said. "It will reach us?" That quieted the room. Holograms activated above the table. Stars flickered. Systems dimmed. Red markers appeared where civilizations had already begun to fail. Energy shortages, resource wars, political breakdowns. "This is not a single disaster," the chair said. "It is a chain reaction." One counselor leaned forward. "Then we prepare," she said, "as we always do." The chair's eyes narrowed. "We are prepared for war," he said. "But this is something else." Another counselor laughed softly. "There is always war at the end," he replied. "There is always violence." The chair did not argue. Instead, he activated another hologram. A list appeared. Potential survival specialists. The council studied it. Powerful species. Advanced empires. Ancient civilizations. Then someone noticed a name near the bottom. Humanity, Sol System R. Few counselors scoffed. "Humans," one said. "They barely qualify as Deathworlders. They are fragile." Another added, "Soft bodies. Short lives." The chair watched their reactions carefully. "They survived a chaotic planet," he said calmly. "One with unstable weather, constant disasters, and internal conflict." A counselor waved it off. "Many species survive chaos for a time," he said. "Few survive themselves." That earned a few low laughs. The chair was about to respond when something unexpected happened. A faint vibration passed through the chamber. The lights flickered. Every head snapped up. "Security check," one counselor ordered. The chamber's systems responded immediately. No breach detected. No hostile signals. The chair frowned. Then it happened again. Stronger this time. The table lights dimmed. The holograms, Jalitsi. A sharp alarm sounded then cut off instantly. What was that? Someone demanded. Before an answer came, a new signal appeared at the center of the table. Not a hologram, a presence. A doorway formed in the air. Clean and precise, as if reality itself had opened politely. The council rose to their feet. Weapons did not appear. They didn't need to. Whatever stepped through that doorway had already broken every rule. A figure emerged, tall, bipedal, Yunam. He wore simple clothes, no weapons. No visible technology. His hands were empty. He looked around the chamber and smiled. Several counselors snarled. "How did you get in here?" One roared. The human raised his hands slowly, not in surrender, but in courtesy. "Sorry to interrupt," he said calmly, "but we believe this meeting concerns us." The room exploded in sound. "You were not invited? This council is sealed. Remove him." Security systems remained silent. The chair felt a chill. "How did you bypass our defenses?" he asked. The human shrugged slightly. "We didn't bypass them," he said. "We followed the signals." The chair narrowed. His eyes, "What signals?" The human's smile faded. "Just a little." "The same ones you're worried about?" He replied. Silence fell again. The human stepped closer to the table. Completely unafraid. "I know you're discussing collapse," he said. "And survival." Chancellor slammed his claw into the table. "You dare speak of our matters?" The human nodded. Double quotes. "Yes," he said simply. "That's why we're here." The chair studied him carefully. "You are alone," he said. "Among predators." The human looked around at the armored beings, the scars, the sharp teeth. Then he looked back at the chair. "I know," he said. "That's usually how it starts for us." That sentence landed heavily. The chair felt it. "So," the human continued, "before you decide what to do next." He placed both hands on the table. "We thought you should know." The council leaned in without realizing it. "We've been watching this collapse for a long time," the human said. "And if you're meeting in secret," he looked each of them in the eye, "it's already worse than you think." No one spoke, no one moved. The human straightened. "Again," he said politely, "sorry to interrupt." The chair realized something terrifying. This was not an intrusion, it was a warning, and the humans had arrived early. The chamber stayed silent after the human finished speaking. The calm silence of control, the dangerous kind. Every member of the Deathworld Council stood now. Some leaned forward. Some spread claws slowly. A few allowed weapons to slide part way. From hidden armor slots, the human noticed all of it. He did not step back. He did not raise his voice. He waited. The chair of the council spoke first. "You are standing in a sealed chamber," he said. "No species enters without permission." The human nodded. "That's what we were told," he replied. Murmurs spread around the table. "Told by who?" one counselor demanded. The human turned slightly, respectful but calm. "By your security network," he said. That stopped the room. The chair looked sharply at the systems master. "Explain," he ordered. The systems master was already pulling up diagnostics. His fingers moved fast. Too fast. "All perimeter layers were intact," he said. "No breaches. No forced entries." He hesitated. "But..." The chair's eyes narrowed. "But what?" The systems master swallowed. "But the network logged the human as authorized." Several counselors reacted at once. "That's impossible. No external species has that clearance." "Only council members," the human spoke again softly. "You built a system to detect threats," he said. "And you told it to let anything through that wasn't one." The room went cold. "That classification is not so simple." The chair replied. "For us, it is." The human said. One counselor laughed harshly. "You expect us to believe our own systems betrayed us?" The human shook his head. "No, he said they did exactly what you asked." The chair studied the human carefully now. "You claim to be harmless," he said. The human smiled faintly. No, he corrected. I said we're not a threat to this room. That wording mattered. A heavy counselor leaned forward. You are surrounded by species that eat worlds, he growled. Why are you not afraid? The human thought for a moment. Then he answered honestly. Because fear wastes time, he said. And time is what you're short on. That silenced the growl. The chair raised a hand. Stand down, he ordered the others. Slowly, reluctantly, weapons retreated. The human remained where he was. You said you followed signals? The chair said Ixclean. The human nodded. Your meeting was secret, he said. But secrecy doesn't hide patterns. He gestured toward the hologram table. Increased traffic. Encrypted bursts. Energy rerouting, he continued. All signs of preparation. The council exchanged glances. How long have you been watching us? One demanded. The human answered without hesitation. Long enough to notice you only meet like this when something scares you. That hit harder than any insult. The chair's voice was calm but strained. You assume much? The human met his gaze. So do you, he replied. Another counselor stood. Why should we not remove you? She asked. Right now? The human looked at her. Because I came alone, he said. And if I don't leave, others will notice. Others? She asked sharply. The human nodded. Observers? Analysts? Civilians? He said. Humans? Get curious when one of us goes quiet. The council did not like that. You're threatening us? Someone accused. The human shook his head again. No, he said. I'm explaining consequences. The chair exhaled slowly. You speak as if you belong here, he said. The human looked around the room. Every species here survived disaster, he said. So did we. That does not make you equal, a counselor snapped. The humans? Expression remained neutral. No, he said. But it makes us relevant. The chair considered this. You arrived without invitation, he said. You interrupted classified discussion. Yes, the human agreed. And you expect to? Stay. The human tilted his head. That depends, he said. Are you planning to survive what's coming? Or just fight it? The same question again. It landed heavier this time. The council had heard many threats. They had never heard concern. The chair turned to the others. Sit, he ordered quietly. Reluctantly. The councillors returned to their seats. The human remained standing. Very well, the chair said. You may speak? The human nodded once. Thank you. He did not rush, he did not posture. He simply spoke. We noticed systems failing that you don't monitor, he said. Civilizations collapsing quietly. The holograms flickered as he spoke. Data appeared, some of it unfamiliar. Where did you get this? A counselor asked. We watch different things, the human replied. Supply chains. Social stress. Recovery time. The chair leaned forward. You think we missed something? He said. The human met his eyes. I think you're looking at strength, he said. And ignoring resilience. That word hung in the air. Resilience. The chair felt an old scar ache. You should not be here, he said softly. The human nodded. I know, he replied. But you didn't lock the door for people like us. The systems master looked up suddenly. That's true, he whispered. The chair turned. What? The human is right, the master said. Our threat filters prioritize aggression. He looked at the human. Humans didn't register as hostile, he said. The chair stared at the human again. You came because we didn't see you as dangerous, he said. Yes, the human replied. That's usually how we get in. The room was quiet again. Not because of fear, because of realization. The chair finally spoke. Continue, he said. The human nodded. Then let's talk about what you're afraid of, he said. And why? We're already preparing for it. Every counselor leaned forward. They had not invited the humans. But now, they were listening. The chamber felt smaller now. Not because the walls had moved. Because the certainty inside the room had. The human stood alone at the table. Surrounded by species that had conquered planets and survived extinctional worlds, yet he did not lower his eyes. He did not rush his words. He spoke as if time itself was listening. You're planning for conflict, the human said calmly. That much is clear. The chair of the council leaned back. We are Deathworlders, he replied. Conflict is how we survive. The human nodded. That's true, he said, but it's not how you recover. A low sound moved through the council. Some scoffed. Others listened more closely. You assume we need recovery? One counselor said sharply. We endure. The human turned toward her. So did every species that collapsed before you. He replied, That's done. The chair raised a hand, silencing the room. You said you had a question, he said. Ask it. The human took a breath. Not because he was nervous, because he was choosing his words. Why, he asked. Do you believe strength is enough? The question was simple. That made it dangerous. The council stared at him. One counselor laughed. Strength built this council, he said. Strength keeps us alive. The human nodded again. Yes, he said. And strength breaks when pressure lasts too long. Silence followed. The chair felt something shift inside him. Explain, he said. The human gestured toward the holograms. You track battles, he said. Territory, weapons, losses. He paused. We track recovery. Several counselors frowned. What does that mean? One asked. The human answered plainly. How fast the system stands back up, he said. How quickly people adapt to loss. The chair leaned forward. And what have you found? He asked. The human did not smile. That most civilizations don't break in war, he said. They break after. That sentence landed heavily. You're saying we'll win? A counselor said, and still lose? The human nodded once. Yes. The council shifted uneasily. We survive death. Another said, we are built for suffering. The human looked at him carefully. No, he said. You are built for endurance. The difference mattered, the human continued. Endurance assumes the pain ends, he said. Resilience assumes it doesn't. Silence, again. The chair felt old memories surface. Long nights. Rebuilding after disasters. Losing worlds slowly, not suddenly. You came here to lecture us? The chair asked. No, the human replied. We came to interrupt you. Several counselors bristled. Interrupt what? One snapped. The human met his gaze. Your assumptions, he said. That angered them. Who do you think you are? Another demanded. You're not Deathworld Council? The human did not argue. No, he said. We're the ones who keep getting back up. The chair studied him closely. You speak as if humans have seen collapse, he said. The human exhaled slowly. We live with it, he replied. The human activated a small device. A hologram appeared above the table. Not alien data. Earth.images. Flashed. Cities. Flooded earthquakes. Fires. Wars. Then, something else. Rebuilding. People working together. Systems repaired. Life continuing. These aren't victories, the human said. These are recoveries. The chair stared at the images. Why show us this? He asked. Because you're preparing for the wrong moment, the human replied. When is the right moment? A counselor asked. The human answered immediately. After everything breaks. That shook the room. You think collapse is inevitable? The chair said. Yes, the human replied. And survivable. The word survivable echoed. You interrupt us, the chair said slowly, to tell us we're thinking too small. The human nodded. You're planning how to win, he said. We're planning how to still exist. A counselor stood suddenly. You're asking us to change everything, she said. The human shook his head. No, he replied. I'm asking you to stop pretending strength will save you. That was the most dangerous thing he had said so far. The chair stood. The room tensed. You stand among Deathwelders, the chair said, and tell us we are wrong. The human met his eyes. Yes, he said. Because you're about to make the same mistake everyone else did. The chair waited. Which is? He asked. The human spoke quietly now. You believe surviving the impact means surviving the collapse? No one answered. The human straightened. That's all we wanted to say? He said. He took a step back. I know we weren't invited. He continued, but if you wait until everything falls apart. He looked around the room one last time. You'll be asking the wrong questions too late. The chair felt something tighten in his chest. Then why come now? He asked. The human paused at the doorway forming behind him. Because, he said, this is the last moment when listening is still cheap. The doorway began to close. The council sat frozen. The human had not threatened them, had not demanded. Power had not asked for alliance. He had only interrupted them, and left. Doubt behind. The chair slowly sat down. For the first time in centuries. The Deathworld Council questioned itself. The chamber stayed silent long after the human left. No one moved, no one spoke. The doorway where he had stood faded completely, leaving only cold air and unfinished thoughts behind. The chair of the Deathworld Council broke the silence. Open the human file. Several counselors turned sharply. That file is incomplete, one said. Outdated, disorganized. Disorganized? Open it anyway, the chair replied. The system's master hesitated, then nodded. A hologram bloomed above the table, flickering for a moment before stabilizing. Species file. Humanity origin. Sol system. Homeworld. EARTH. The first images appeared. A blue planet. White clouds. Greenland. It looked peaceful. A counselor snorted. This is not a death world, he said. It looks soft. The system's master adjusted the display. Surface view is misleading, he said. Switching to historical data. The image changed. Storms swallowed cities. Oceans rose. Ground cracked and split. Earthquakes. Floods. Wildfires. Casualties. Climbed into the millions. This is normal. A counselor asked quietly. For them, the chair replied. The file continued. A timeline appeared, moving fast. Wars erupted. Nations collapsed. Weapons destroyed entire regions, then rebuilding. Again and again, they fight each other. One counselor said, "Yes," the chair replied, "and still survive." The file zoomed in. Pandemics, global shortages, systems failing all at once. The council watched closely. This was not a single disaster, it was overlapping crises. How did they not go extinct? Someone whispered. The systems master scrolled further. They came close, he said. Images showed empty streets. Hospitals overwhelmed. Supply chains broken. The death toll rose. Then something unexpected happened. Humans adapted. They changed behavior. Rebuilt systems. Learned quickly. They're slow, a counselor said. The chair shook his head. No, he said. They're flexible. The file highlighted a pattern. Every major collapse forced change. Every change created new systems. Every new system carried lessons forward. They store failure, the systems master said. They remember it. That unsettled the room. Most species erased failure. Humans documented it. The hologram shifted again. Environmental data. Earth's gravity fluctuated more than average. Weather patterns were unstable. Natural disasters overlapped unpredictably. This Plangia actively tries to kill them, a counselor said. Yes, the chair replied. And they call it home. Another section opened, psychological profiles. Stress tolerance. Risk acceptance. Group behavior under pressure. The graphs were strange. The more stress applied, the more cooperation increased. That's backwards, someone said. Not for them, the chair replied. The file showed human responses to long-term hardship. Fatigue did not cause collapse. It caused routine. This is alarming, a counselor said. They normalize suffering. The systems master nodded. They build lives inside it. The file continued. Technological setbacks. Economic crashes. Political instability. Every time. The same pattern. Fall, adapt. Rebuild stronger. They don't aim for stability, the chair realized. They aim for recovery. That word, again. Recovery. The council replayed the humans' words. We track recovery. One counselor leaned forward. Why didn't we see this? She asked. The chair answered slowly. Because we define survival as avoiding disaster, he said. They define survival as enduring it. The file moved to a final section. Human strategic bio for the data showed something disturbing. Humans planned for failure. They built redundancies, backup systems, contingencies. They assumed things would break. That's pessimistic, a counselor said. No, the chair replied. That's realistic. The systems master zoomed out. There's more, he said. The display shifted to external observation data. Human colonies, outposts, exploration missions. Even off-world, humans recreated familiar stress patterns. They choose harsh environments, someone noted. Yes, the chair said. Because comfort makes them careless. That sentence settled heavily. The chair leaned back. They didn't come here to threaten us, he said. Then why interrupt us? A counselor asked. The chair looked at the final summary. Species summary. Humans exhibit extreme resilience. Under prolonged stress, adaptive behavior increases during crisis. Collapse accelerates innovation. They came, the chair said slowly, because they recognized the signs before we did. The council sat quietly. One councillor finally spoke. Collapse is coming, he said. What do humans do next? The chair remembered the calm voice. We're already preparing. They prepare together, he said. The system's master closed the file. The hologram faded. No one spoke for a long time. The Deathworld Council had faced extinction-level threats before, but this was different. This was not an enemy. It was a mirror. The chair stood. We misjudged them, he said. How badly? Someone asked. The chair looked at the empty space where the human had stood. We thought they were late, he said. They were early. A councillor swallowed. What happens if we ignore them? The Deathworld Council sat in heavy silence. The human file had been closed, but its weight remained in the room. No one argued now. No one laughed. The chair of the council broke the silence. Bring the human back. Several councillors reacted at once. You would invite him again? One asked. He violated protocol. The chair did not look at him. He violated our assumptions, he replied. That is more dangerous. The system's master hesitated, then activated the channel. Space folded again, clean and quiet. The same doorway appeared. The human stepped through. Alone, unarmed. Come. He looked around the chamber. You opened the file? He said. It was not a question. The chair nodded. Yes, he said. And now we want answers. The human inclined his head. That's fair, he replied. One councillor leaned forward. You spoke of collapse, she said. You spoke as if it were certain. The human met her gaze. It is, he said simply. That honesty unsettled them more than fear. Explain, the chair said. The human took a breath. You see collapse as an event, he said. A war, a disaster. A final moment. He shook his head. Collapse is a process. The council listened. It starts small, the human continued. Supply delays. Trust loss. Systems pushed slightly past comfort. He gestured toward the table. Nothing breaks all at once, he said. It frays. One councillor frowned. We monitor those indicators, he said. The human nodded. You monitor them separately, he replied. We watch how they overlap. The chair felt a chill. What have you seen? He asked. The human answered, without hesitation. Too many overlaps, he said. Too close together. The chamber grew still. You believe the galaxy is approaching a tipping point, the chair said. Yes, the human replied. And past it, strength won't matter. A councillor scoffed weakly. Strength always matters. The human looked at him. Only during impact, he said. Not during recovery. That word again. Recovery. The chair leaned forward. Why come to us? He asked. You could have prepared alone? The human nodded. We did, he said. But isolation makes collapse worse. Several councillors exchanged looks. You're asking us to cooperate, one said. No, the human replied. I'm telling you what happens if you don't. The room tightened. That sounds like a threat, someone accused. The human shook his head. No, he said. It's a lesson we learned the hard way. The chair studied him. You came uninvited, he said. You interrupted our most secret council. Yes, the human agreed. Why take that risk? The chair asked. The human answered quietly. Because secrecy is the last stage before failure. That landed hard. When systems stop sharing information, the human continued. They stopped adapting. The council remembered the early collapses. They had seen empires that hid weakness until it consumed them. You believe we are already too late? The chair said. The human considered that. No, he said. But you're close. Silence followed. A counselor spoke carefully. What exactly do humans want? She asked. The human did not hesitate. Coordination, he said. Redundancy. Shared recovery planning. The council stared. No conquest? One asked. No, the human replied. No control? Another pressed. No. Then what do you gain? The chair asked. The human smiled faintly. Survival, he said. The shared kind. The chair leaned back. You offer help without dominance, he said. That goes against everything we know. The human nodded. It did for us too, he said. Until we learned what happens without it. The system's master spoke up. What happens? He asked. The human answered softly. Everything falls apart faster. The chair looked around the table. Deathworlders were used to fighting alone, to enduring, to surviving without help. But the human file had shown something else. Humans survived together. You came to warn us, the chair said. Yes, the human replied. And if we refuse? A counselor asked. The human's expression did not change. Then you'll survive longer than most, he said. But not long enough. That was not arrogance. It was certainty. The chair stood. You have no authority here, he said. And yet you speak as if you do. The human met his gaze. We don't claim authority, he said. We claim experience. The chair felt the weight of that word. Experience? You said you prepared already, the chair said. Yes, the human replied. For what? The chair asked. The human answered after a pause. For helping others rebuild. The chamber was silent again. That was not a strategy of war. That was a strategy of aftermath. The chair closed his eyes briefly. He saw the data, the patterns, the approaching overlaps. When he opened them, he made a decision. We will consider your proposal, he said. The human nodded. That's all we asked, he replied. The chair raised a clawed hand. One last question, he said. Why humans? The human thought for a moment. Then he answered. Because we don't panic when things break, he said. We expect it. The doorway opened again. The human stepped back toward it. We'll be watching, he said. And preparing. He paused. And when things start to fail faster, he added, you'll know where to find us. The doorway closed. The council sat in silence. They had expected an enemy. They had been offered a lifeline. And none of them were sure which was more dangerous. The Deathworld Council did not speak for a long time after the human left. The chamber felt different now. Not weaker, not threatened. Changed. The chair remained standing, staring at the space where the doorway had closed. He had faced wars, extinction events, and planetary collapse before. None of them had felt like this. Because none of them had arrived politely. We let him walk out, one counselor finally said. Yes, another replied. Alive? The chair turned slowly. He was never in danger, he said. That was the point. The systems master cleared his throat. There is something else, he said. Since the human left, multiple data streams have updated. The chair looked at him. From where? From across the galaxy, the master replied. Human networks. The hologram table lit up again. New markers appeared. Not fleets, not weapons, relief convoys, medical ships, engineering teams. Pre-positioned, quiet, ready. They were already moving, a counselor whispered. Yes, the chair said. They didn't come to ask permission. The council studied the data. Human outposts near unstable systems. Supply caches in regions expected to fail. Evacuation routes mapped months in advance. This isn't defense, one counselor said. No, the chair replied. It's preparation for after. That word again. After. The chair activated a secure channel to the wider Galactic registry. Open a reclassification session, he ordered. The council stiffened. Reclassification? Someone asked. Yes, the chair said. Immediately. The registry appeared. Species rankings, threat levels, engagement protocols. The chair selected humanity's Sol system. The old classification blinked. Status, emerging threat, moderate behavior. Unpredictable, the chair stared at it. Then he changed it. Status, collapse resilient threat, contextual behavior, adaptive cooperatives under failure. The system paused. Add advisory note, the chair said. He spoke slowly, choosing each word. Do not test humans by increasing pressure, he said. They improve under it. The note saved. A counselor leaned forward. You're rewriting galactic doctrine, she said. No, the chair replied. I'm correcting it. The council sat quietly. They remembered the human's calm voice. Listening is still cheap. The systems master spoke again. Reports are coming in, he said. Minor systems are already failing. The chair nodded. And the humans? They're responding, the master said. Without orders. Relief ships arrived where no one had asked for them. Engineers restored power grids that were about to collapse. Humans worked alongside species that once mocked them. No flags. No demands. No speeches. Just work. They don't claim credit, a counselor said. No, the chair replied. They claim time. That frightened him more than conquest ever could. Time was power. A junior counselor spoke hesitantly. What if they're wrong? He asked. What if the collapse doesn't happen? The chair looked at him. Then we gain redundancy, he said. And stronger systems. And if they're right? The counselor pressed. The chair did not answer immediately. If they're right, he said finally, then they arrived exactly when they should have. The council voted that night. Not on war, not on defense, on cooperation. For the first time in their history, the Deathworld Council opened limited channels to an external species. Humanity, not as rulers, not as leaders. As partners in recovery, the decision did not make headlines. It was quiet. Like humans. Months passed. The collapse did not arrive all at once. Just as the human said. Supply chains broke in one sector. Energy failed in another. Trust eroded slowly. But this time, systems did not fall alone. Humans shared templates, processes, lessons learned the hard way. They didn't pretend things would be fine. They showed others how to function when they weren't. The chair watched it all from the chamber. He finally understood. Humans were not heroes of peace. They were veterans of failure. They did not panic when things broke. They expected it. And because of that, they survived longer than anyone else. One day, the chair received a simple message. No encryption, no ceremony, just words. Still holding together. Let us know when it gets worse. The chair closed the channel and leaned back. He looked around the chamber. At the scars, the armor, the weapons. For the first time, he felt something unfamiliar. Relief. Because when the galaxy finally cracked, someone had already lived through the pieces and knew how to put them back together. The Deathworld Council had met in secret to prepare for survival. Humans had arrived to prepare for what came after. And that made all the difference.